Welcome to another video, family, heirs of our father's promise. We are here on another video. All right, and today is another wonderful day that our Creator, for in Him, Yahushua Yahusha, in Him, Yahuwah, Elohim, Adonai, has made. All right, now, why do we make these videos? I'm gonna tell you why we make these videos. We make these videos because it's important that we learn on how we first communicate, understand, and resolve our daily lives when it comes to living in this world, in this 3D, 4D, somewhat of a 5D reality. Bars. All right, bars. Now, it's very important that we know exactly the route to take so that we don't have to stagnate ourselves. And it's important that we do these things so when we are aligned to life in general and the obstacles that come in the way, we can sometimes, just see it for what it is. Rather than just, I say rabbit. Like, why did I just say that? Whoa. But when we see obstacles, we know exactly the route that is coming in, let alone the troubles when it's attacking and how it's angled towards us. And to furthermore relate to it, right, the subject of today is all in darkness will come to light. Why is that? See, when you are living in a life where there's a lot of stagnation, right? Or when you have situations where things just don't apparently make any sense, you get to come to a realization that there's something there's something that just isn't, being put perfectly together. When one plus one gives you two, mathematics, in those specific concepts, right, it gives you two, right? And you apply one plus one, it doesn't, right? It's a problem, let alone somebody telling you some things that don't make sense. It's a problem. All right. So we first start with what? Saint Mark. Why? Well, the Chronicle of Saint Mark. Why? Why are we going to start with the Chronicle of Saint Mark? The reason why is because each chronicle, they specify exactly what we need so we can understand. So it's a reminder. So why are we here? We are here to remind each other of how we're supposed to keep each other in a place that can uplift, that can bring us into this place of what? Higher self. People that are Christ like minded, brothers and sisters. All right. All right. So I want you guys to go to, well, first, grab your buy and bow. All right. And I'm going to be talking to you guys maybe at the end of this. I'm going to tell you about the podcast that I'm going to start with. Somebody that I encountered over, a little period of a time. I would say that this person is a pretty dope person. Okay. And they have more so the idea of being able to learn. Hopefully, things work accordingly by the grace of our Father, right? That things properly are placed together. Now, things don't always go according to plans, but it's not of our own glory, but the glory of Yahuwah to be made perfect. Okay? So, what's the first thing to do? Grab your Bible, your Biblioteca, and also turn to what? Saints Mark, right? Chronicle of Saints Mark, chapter 11. And why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that? Because we're going to need to go over the word. And remember, over here, we are students. Studiers, English. So, however you say, we are students of the truth, right? Put that in the comment section and help your brother out here, all right? English is definitely defeating me. For sure, and for sure. It's not that I don't know the word. Sometimes it escapes me, but then it comes back, and sometimes it's just pronunciation. All right. I would like to get started because it's definitely been more than 10 seconds. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, let's get started. Christ and his disciples reached near Jerusalem of Bethphage and Bethany at Mount Olives. There he sent forth two of his disciples to get a male donkey and bring it if anyone asked. Just tell them that what? That Ellie requires of it and make way. So the donkey, go and get the donkey. Anybody asks, they're gonna know what's up, right? So they went on and did so. Seeing it, they grabbed it, and on their way back were questioned, and on their actions, well, they were questioned of their actions, and they replied as Christ told them. Hearing this, many cleared them a path along the way, and some praised Eli for his will to be made manifested. So favor unto the kingdom of our father David, he that came as the Messiah. Okay? At the time Christ entered Jerusalem and went into the temple, and seeing everything he had parted, and seeing everything within it, he had parted ways to Bethany by evening with the 12 disciples. Now early that day, when upon arriving from Bethany, they became hungered. Now in their venture, Christ saw a fig tree, and he walked up to it, expecting some fruits, but instead saw that it was barren. So upon it, he cursed it, and said that none will ever eat from it, and his disciples heard it. All right? It's very important. Let's continue. Verse 15 destroyed the marketing scams from within. This is the good part right here. All right? This is the title of verse 15. So let's get started and why it's important. But after they made it to Jerusalem, Christ went into the temple and began to cast out all those that were marketing within the place as soon as he looked eyes. As soon as he locked eyes. As soon as he locked eyes, and he continued causing order through chaos of their wrongdoings. So he was just out here knocking stuff left and right because they knew better. And guess who were behind it? The chief priests, the elders, scribes, Pharisees, Herodians. They were all behind it. And you know what's funny? Them being all behind it, right? They're the same ones that came to try to tempt him. You should go and read the next chapter. I might make another video for that actually. But let's continue. He gave everyone there a hard time if they were suspicious of selling anything, as he halted their carriers. That includes all of their stocks, their transport, all of it. Now, of course, who's the big bad wolf, right? The ones that are in the background making the strings, making the calls, all of these connects, right? They're gonna be upset because sales money is not coming through. So we're gonna see how they're gonna react next. All right. From there, he taught and spoke loudly, saying, "Isn't it sad? Isn't it said that my house should be a place of prayer, and not that which is for thieves? Hmm. Which is not for thieves." And then what says in verse 18? Because he came there, and the title for that should be messing up their business. Messing up their business. Why is it that? Let's actually look into that. When the scribes and the chief priests heard they planned on his downfall, my apologies, let me read that one more time. That sounded so weird the way I said it. When the scribes and the chief priests heard They planned on his downfall, for all of their businesses were put to halt. So you're mad because you know that you're not supposed to do business in the church, right? Like, you're not supposed to do business in the church. A lot of pastors are picking and choosing, so I'm gonna call them the mindsets of Pharisees, even preachers, whatever caliber that you want to consider yourself. If you want to sell something, take it to a place that does not require the church or the synagogue or the temple. Handle your business there. If you want to get offerings and this and that, that's cool. Somebody give you a donation or a charity, that's cool. If you create a situation, you need help, you ask for favor or you ask for help, that's cool. But a marketplace, you're selling. Where has our integrity gone at? Where has it gone at? And here I speak about people understanding what I say. Well, some people understanding what I say, but they clearly don't. Hmm? Where has our integrity gone at? Our loyalty, where has it gone at? We walk around with our chest and our head high, walking around with a big chest, boasting of all the things that we have, but figure much that you're still sad, that when you don't get your way, throw a tantrum. Don't get me wrong, we all have moments where we throw tantrums, but we all don't throw tantrums. And mind you, we all don't throw tantrums the same way. Some people, they're more calm about it. Some people, they're more logical. Some people, they're not. We all have hearts. So just because somebody can act nonchalant doesn't mean that they're not upset. They don't feel some type of way. They just don't. They prefer to not show off their emotion because it's not worth it. Imagine that. How somebody tell you that somebody don't show you how they feel. That's crazy, right? No, it's not crazy. It's called control. It's not called crazy. It's called control. And demons, they feed off of that anger, that wrath. There's no there's no one or two, there's one. So when you pick one and two, you're picking the other, which is two. This could possibly be. No, it's one. So if you chose, to side with the demons and the devils, you'll be better off just siding with them. If you chose righteousness, you're gonna have righteousness for you. Because if you chose righteousness and you're doing things of evil, your mindset is set on evil. You don't even try to fight it. You just accept it like it's nothing. It's going to be problematic for you and not nobody else. It might even be worse for the people around you because you cannot control that demon, because it controls you so much that you don't even see it. And the people around you, they're so scared of you that they don't even want to be able to tell you, or they're the ones that's also possessed manipulating you. Just like the scribes, the Pharisees, they're the ones that they sent the chief priests and the elders sent who the scribes, and then they sent what the Sadducees to talk to Christ, to try to lower his defenses down. And that should be probably in the next chapter. Go ahead and check it out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Indeed. But let's continue though. At the moment, they couldn't do anything. They couldn't do nothing to him because they feared him due to his logic. Meaning, people understood that a lot of the people already considered Christ like a prophet or he was actually the Messiah, or somewhat of an aspect. So they didn't want to just create, a problem to destroy everything that they built on. But let's continue. When evening was near, he left out of the city, and later, when day came, Christ and his disciples passed the fig tree that was dried up from the roots. Things now the next topic for this is things don't always happen right away, but it's in effect. So when there's things that is happening at the moment, right? That includes like your words, your action. They don't take effect right there and then. They take effect after, right? So because they don't take effect right there and then, and they take effect after, you don't always see it with your physical eyes. Sometimes these things take effect in a way where you would think that it would be a supernatural thing, but no, sometimes it's people. But in this scenario, it's the fig tree. But Christ spoke to the fig tree, and the fig tree started taking effect upon his words. Because if something said you're no longer going to bear any fruit, the function of a fruit of a tree of some kind that's able to produce fruit is to grow, right, and multiply. So if you tell it to no longer bear, you disconnect its function, its purpose for it to grow. It's then going to start dying because it no longer serves a purpose. It has no strength to be able to hold life of its own because it's grown in a place that's not made for it to grow. So when it's not rooted in the right place, just like the previous videos that I talked about, when a seed is not rooted in the right place, it will shrivel up and die. Neither it will either bear any fruit, or it will shrivel and die. Right. So let's continue. Give me one moment, please. I felt like a little burp was about to come out, but I'm not sure what that was. But let's continue. All right. Peter remembered when Christ spoke to it and how Christ cursed the tree as it was wither as it was as it's withering away. My apologies. When Christ saw them astonished, he told them to have faith. For whoever that tells the mountain to move, it shall, and it will be placed in the sea. With no doubt in their hearts and true faith, those things that they believe shall come to pass. All that says so. So this is also going to be important. Your prayer, your intention. So when you are praying, you must be focused. You don't have to, you know, create this ideal that your prayer have to be 1,000 years long. It has to be an hour long. It can be for 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Now, if you're caught up in the spirit and it takes 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes, that's between you and the Holy Spirit and our Father. But when you're around people and you making these long, difficult prayers, you're looking like a Pharisees, a scribe, a a Sadducees, deuces. Mm, yeah. Every word that has been in the Bible is a cycle upon what we're talking now in today's date. And everything Roman, all of that is still into this time of era. So when you know your enemies by the word, you know your enemies by the flesh. There's nothing that can escape you. Does that make any sense? Because what they've been doing back then, they're still doing now. Does that make any sense? Let it ring in your mind for a little bit. I'm gonna let it sizzle, season a bit like salt. Reserve that in your heart. You know what I mean? Preserve that. What they've been doing back then, they're still doing now. They're just trying to make it technical, but technicality is nothing but a delusion. There's nothing new that they're really making. That's why they created new metrics of a way to measure things, because that's the only way to micro, micro fix a situation, so you can dilute or translate something that is to something that could potentially be. That's why they study light a lot, because when different types of light come into contact, it creates a different effect of visuals. That's why they study animals and their however you say this, not their pupil, but however that it is right now. I can't think of the word. Like, it's in the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it right now. It's gonna come back to me. It always does. But how they study how they study the eye. They know everything about the eyes. So it's so crazy that there's medicine out there that can heal people that cannot see properly, but they still tell people to wear glasses. Glasses can literally make your eyes worse if people did not know that. No matter if it's prescribed to you, subscribed to you, right? It doesn't matter if it's prescribed to you, right? It's a way of marketing. It makes your eyes worse. Because why would I fix you if I know that I can make money off of you so I can give you something temporary so that you can come back? Either it's going to help you for a little while or it's going to help you and then make you worse so you can come back. Doesn't that sound familiar to the common practitioners of what we call the modern hospitals, pharmacies, doctors? Oh, I said too much, huh? I ain't even said nothing yet. Let's continue. And this is going to be about prayers, by the way. All right. And you have to purposely know how to affirm when you're praying and know where your mindset is set on when you're praying. Don't pray with the expectations of something not being fixed. Pray on it, because when you pray, that means you give trust to who you pray that is already handled. See, a lot of people don't teach us about prayers the proper way. That's why when we pray, don't think that when you pray that when your prayers are answered, that it's always Yahuwah. The devils, the demons, the Satans, they can also answer prayers. Remember, a lot of people pray with their mouth open. Some people don't even consecrate. And when people think they're consecrating, they think they still have to open their mouth when they tell you clearly that your heart speaks. Your heart speaks. So if your heart speaks and your enemies listen from your mouth, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to be taking notes. They're going to be taking notes. They're going to know what you want. So sometimes you can't tell everything out loud. You only say what you need to say, because the only way sometimes you can feel like you can express it in a way that's verbal, right, is by, saying it out loud. Yes, indeed. There's no loss to that. hmm Think about that. So let's actually get into the word, actually, so to make it more sense, to give it more sense so that we can understand. Verse 24. So when you pray, believe that it's already yours and you shall receive. Also, as you pray, forgive many to all so that Eli can also forgive you. Because you cannot pray with a heart of hate. You cannot pray holding anger, holding jealousy, holding lies and deceit. Because how are you going to pray when you're not even yourself to your creator? How can you? How can you pray when you're not yourself? You're a build a bear. You are just a character, a facade. You playing shams out here. Shams. You playing shams. You acting all delulu. That's that's a favorite word that I like nowadays, because for some reason that's the word now. That's the word of today's time. Delulu. I actually kind of like that word. Mm? How can you pray and you're not even yourself? So, you know, you have to forgive. You have to forgive. You have to come simply and plain, like a plain potato, like a plain plantain. Bars, like a plain potato, like a plain. That's a straight bar. Like a plain potato, like a plain plantain. No seasoning, nothing. No seasoning, no nothing. Just plain yourself. So when you pray, you have to concentrate because how else is what you're asking even true? You're not even sure because your mind is in everything else. It's thinking about this, that, and that, and that, and that. Who knows if Christ is trying to give you a message, or you're in a special place that you're seeing, showing that you're somebody is showing you something, and you must concentrate. Who knows, right? Let's go to verse 27. See, the reason I say all of this, as well as everything that's in the darkness will come to light as well, is because the Pharisees, when just like anybody, right? When somebody catch you doing something wrong, right? They get upset. They show their anger. Just like I'm not going to say the man was angry, but the man that was caught sleeping with another man when he had a wife, Yahuwah forbid, um, have mercy upon the young lady. But he had a wife. He shot his wife because he got caught. So guilty mindset. They know that they wrong rather than pleading and making amends. They went in the opposite direction. Let's continue. What does it say? So they made it back to Jerusalem again, and the chief priests, scribes, and elders approached him and asked him, by what authority does he have to have caused all that he's done at the temple? They became gangster about it. Oh, I'm scared. Please. When they came up to him, they were like, who you think you are trying to stop our business? Well, they know the words of Moses. They know the commandments. They're the ones that instill those commandments, and they don't even follow it themselves. But no, rather they rather make business off of it and make people and make money. See, the prophets want to profit off of you. The prophets want to profit off of you. That's what we call false prophets. Mm-hmm. See, real prophets, they don't tell you that they're prophets. They don't even call themselves prophets. There's other people that call them prophet. Just like the Messiah, a lot of people, they didn't call them prophets. They didn't call them what they are. They didn't call themselves who they are. People call them who they are because of the attribute of what they do. Majority of these people, did they have any money? They might have, but it wasn't really spoken of. Mm-hmm. Let's continue. He then said, the washing, well, my apologies. My apologies. My apologies. We didn't read that last part. So Christ told them to answer his question also when he well also when also then when he communicate. Also then will he communicate. Mm. So he telling them, what reason do I have to tell you anything? My apologies. Give me one moment. He then said, "What reason do I have to tell you anything? Hmm? What reason do I have to tell you anything? What reason do I have to tell you anything?" And we're going to know why. He then said, "The washing of John, was it of the spirit of Eli or humans' ideals?" Because now, him asking that, right, this can crush the whole business that they made. So not only is Christ is like, okay, I can hit two birds with one stone with this one. And he did because they thought about it really hard. Because if they answered wrong, the people would stop believing what they already constructed as a lie. Even though it wasn't a lie, they just manipulated the truth, which is still considered a lie. Right? That's going to bring all of their business down, their trust. See, the first thing about business is trust. When you can have somebody trust what you tell them, right? The business of what you do, right? If somebody trusts your business, right? If somebody trusts your business, you can sell them anything. That's the first thing about business, trust. When it's the same, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't even have to be a business. Trust, because somebody can give you something if they trust you, but that don't mean that they're gonna be rocking with you, right? So if somebody trusts you, they can give you anything. They can give you anything. Give me one moment. All right. I know this is not alcohol. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't drink. But if somebody trusts you, right, you can give them anything, a bomb, and tell them that's the best, I don't know, edible bomb that you will ever have. And they will eat it because why? They trust you. Hmm. Indeed. Okay. So if the public stopped trusting them because of their word, because that's what everything was of their promise and their word, their businesses come to a ruin. And they try to avoid that as much as possible. So let's see what they said, right? Hearing this, they thought to themselves, knowing that if they answered that, it would cause a huge ruckus, and many will wonder why they didn't believe Christ. Hmm. Okay. Next, they also knew that if they say, well, my apologies. They also knew that if they say men, then people would turn against them, and all they built, for they know that John was truly a prophet. So all they built, they will know. They people believe that John was a true prophet. So that means that if they did not agree, but then they also disagreed, it can go either way. So they what did they say next? So this is their response. It's better to say you don't know than to say you know or you don't know. In the sense, what I mean by that is, it's better to say maybe sometimes than yes or no. Because if you say yes, it can go against you. If you say no, it can go against you. Which Christ hit them with a double. He hit them with a one strike, two birds, one stone, two birds on a one go. Mm-hmm. That's a mad. That's not even a genius. That's beyond that. Two birds, one stone. There's more than one. There's more than one of the Pharisees, the scribes, and all of them. Two birds, one stone. You're telling me You're telling me that one person is able to hold every last one of you in an argument? You can say everything about this and that, but that you can't escape the truth. Not because of what other people are expecting, because of how the world is, but because of the truth that's in the words itself. See, when you speak so much and you don't realize that people are watching you, you're gonna eventually see that. Because the same people that you talk to, they're the same people that are just watching, writing notes. You can say anything. For a lot of people that are out there that are very judgmental, you don't know how much money a person got, right? Person can probably pay off your whole rent, your whole house bill, whatever bill for the rest of the year, probably 10, 20,000 years from now. And you're just looking like, oh, because they don't look like they have something right here, right now, that I'm just gonna say anything to them. I'm gonna treat them anyway, anyhow. You don't even know who they know. They might know somebody that's telling you how you're talking about them. Somebody that you're talking on the phone is telling them, hey, yeah, this person said this person said that. Mm-hmm. They say this about you every single day. Really? Okay. You never know. Situations like that happen, right? I'm not saying that it's me, but I'm just saying that that's just how the world works sometimes. Right? Uh so what did they say? Let's get back into that. Because I'm over here looking at these scriptures and I'm just over here like, ah. All right. So they said to Christ that they don't know. So he told them neither is he required to tell them either of what power, what authority gave them the reason to make the judgment that they made. It's like saying this. It's like saying this. We are off one bottle, right? Imagine that this is the bottle right here, right? We are all of this same bottle, right? But then some people want to be Fiji, some people want to be whatever other is out there, right? What they call it, the little marks sign, um, however that you say it. Some people want to be Fiji, some people want to be marksman. I think that's how you say it, but I don't really care. And some people want to be Deer Park, but we're all in the same container. So we're pulling away from each other when we're the same water, the same water, H2O, and it ain't even H2O because there's different levels of water because water is soluble, right? It allows things to turn into mixtures because of how soluble it is, how soluble it is, how much water does in this world. We're all of the same faction of matter, right? So everything in this world does matter. We're off the same bottle, but we're pulling from each other because we want to be in different, we want to have different brands, we want to have different titles to the type of water that we are, but we're from the same water. Think about that. Like does that make any sense? No, that's what you call contradiction. That's what you call confusion, separation, division. That's not unity, right? So the last words that I'm going to speak on here, because it's basically almost about to be 40 minutes in like a couple of seconds, right? I said a couple, yeah. However, seconds is going to go by real quick. Um, yeah, please be yourself. Look at things more in a positive way. Because if you have nothing to worry about, why have a guilty mindset? Why try to impose? Why try to manipulate? You get what I'm saying? All of those things shows a sign of you doing something that you know that you did wrong. So if you didn't do anything wrong, don't worry about it. That means it doesn't concern you as far as the problem. That means you're not the problem. That means whoever and whatever is the problem in this world, they will be dealt with. That's why it says our Father is our vengeance, because you don't fight fire with fire. When you fight fire with fire, all you're doing is building a bigger fire. And the people around you, they're going to be the ones to have to deal with it. So they're either going to accept it or they're going to deny it. One or the other. Don't think you're going to get away from being punished. You're going to get punished regardless. It's just that some people might die, some people might live. So if people are going to die and live, pick the option for you to live so that you can still say, I'm here. Thank you, Papa. Thank you, Yahuwah. So I'm going to speak on love like I normally do, right? Because we have about a good 4, 5, 6 minutes, however that is, right? I'm not going to take long actually on this one. But love is very important. I would love for you guys to join me in the podcast when it's going to pop up. But love is very important. It's so important that I think that what is that on my screen? I thought my screen was cracked for a second, like whoa, but it's just the illustration. Whoa, wait a minute. People are doing that. Like, whoa, no, it can't happen. It can't happen. That I need my laptop now, huh? But yeah. Um, love. All of this toxic stuff, I highly doubt that relations with anybody would last. Really. I wrote a whole thesis about why it's important to understand the difference between wants and need, because lust, greed, desires, love, they're all in that same category. It's called a passion. When you have a passion, it can either be destructive or innocent. When you have a passion, it can be either destructive or innocent, because sometimes things can be innocent, but you can be blind. But having an innocent love doesn't make you wrong. It just makes you a little bit naive. But having a destructive love, it makes you ruthless, because now you're not naive, you're ignorant and you're arrogant all at the same time. You can't hope the best for somebody and still destroy their moralities. Not everybody is the same. That's not what you call building somebody up. At the end of the day, right? You can have your aspects of how you view things, but if you're in a relationship with somebody, right? Man or woman, right? If you are, so hopefully you guys are married, husband and wife, right? I hope hopefully that's the case, and people are not out here frolicking and bumping bodies, okay? Or doing idolatry, okay? Because you, like I said, yeah. Matter of fact, go and read the next chapter after this, because it's going to be very important as to why I said what I said. All right. So if you're out here being for somebody, understand that anything that Yahuwah put together cannot be broken apart unless he takes it back. So if he takes it back, that's that. Now, personally, me, on my behalf, right? If I'm not going to deal with certain things, I'm just not going to deal with it. Now, it's one thing to be accepting. It's also another thing when you have incompetence, right? Where if somebody do something that's very incompetent, that makes no absolute sense. If you are in a relationship and you know that, you speak to the person about it. You give them options. because maybe they can't see outside of a certain box, right? So when you're in a relationship, build, be accepting, be understanding, be patient. Don't get agitated because at the end of the day, everybody is different because you picked him or she picked you or he picked you if you're a woman or he picked you. So it's about the differences of who we are that attracted that person. So if you can't deal with the fact that that person has this going on, they don't have what you want going on, don't be with that person. Status, like let me give you an example. Let's say that I have talent and I'm able to draw, whatever the case is, right? But I don't want to have an influence of me drawing or painting or sculpting, right? But the person that I'm with, let's say that it's the Instagram type of model or something. She she wants somebody, or she likes me, but she wants somebody to have a whole bunch of, influence. She wants somebody with influence, right? I could have influence, but I don't want influence in the sense of I don't want to be out there on TV 24/7, right? Talking about whoa, whoa, whoa. I would talk about Christ day, all day, right? All day. It's not a problem for me. But if I am on TV and I'm on TV once in the blue moon, whatever the case is, and I have to sell anything when it regards to Christ, am I really talking about Christ, or is it the fact that there's money to be made? Now, there are aspects of certain ways that money could be made that is made in a good aspect, right? But to forcefully just say, I'm going to give you my story that is supposed to help thousands and millions of people, right? How maybe art, like, is to a certain extent, it can be very confusing. It can be very, very confusing to the average person. They're not gonna care. Them like money. I like my integrity, meaning how my father views me. That's what I like that. I could care less how other people view me as long as they don't view me in a negative way where I did wrong to them. Imagine somebody buys something from me and they tell me what they bought for me did not help them in life. Even if I don't have to care, I will be the type of person to care because I'm going to feel responsible for the simple fact that that person had hopes and I killed their hopes. So when people speak and they think that certain things are cool, that was just me giving it an instance of an option or aspect, right? When people thinking that it helps and it doesn't help, and it clearly doesn't help and it clearly does not help, it doesn't make any sense. So I space what I want to space. I give the distance what distance needs to be. I don't play about certain things. I don't think any man or woman should be playing about certain things either. So whoever you're in a relationship with, understand the difference between man and woman. I'm not saying know your place. I'm not saying any of that, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Because we tend to forget that if scenarios were to pop up, who's going to be filling in the boxes on certain, descriptions of stuff? You get what I'm saying? Now, there's certain things, yes, that a dude is supposed to do. There's certain things that a woman is supposed to do. So those boxes are still going to be filled up. But we got to understand, we are not only to ourselves and how people expect us to be in life. We are supposed to create a world where things make much more sense than what is right now. I don't know too much of everything. Yes, I come on here talking about things of truth, but words of truth, that doesn't mean that I know everything. I only speak about what I know. What I'm given, I give to you. I can't give you something that I don't have. If I could give you something that I don't have, maybe I do have something that I can give you. But you just won't be able to get it because it just might not be meant for you. It just might not be meant for you at this time. And if it is meant for you at this time, the chances are high to low. So for a lot of you that are in a relationship, please consider patience, consider understanding. Be in the person's shoes and don't just take notes mentally as to what you can use against them. Because at the end of the day, you know what happens when you do stuff like that? You're playing yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're playing yourself. This can be man or woman. That's why this polygamy stuff, monogamy stuff, no go. Logos, no. Logos, no. Mm-mm. I can't be fire and you semi-fire. Don't work like that. I'm sorry. Maybe in other people's relations and people that are not ready to move in that direction. You get what I'm saying? You can't be fire and your person is semi-fire and you're married. Because the type of fight that you're gonna be fighting before that person becomes fire is gonna be ruthless. There's demons that they're not even ready to let go. So imagine that you're fighting demons on your behalf, and you're fighting their demons because their demons don't want to let them go. But then you crushing them, and it's like your other person, they keep allowing the demons to come around. It's very tiring. So be of good joy. Like I say, I give you guys affirmations of words of is rather than can be, will be, already happened. Okay? Some of you have a very beautiful voice. Some of you ladies are very beautiful. But please understand that physical attraction is not always the main pedestal of, being attractive. It's not the way your body looks 100%. It's the way you speak, your demeanor, your character, your personality, who you are as a person. Because if you could say that a man is dry, he's not funny, but then what are you giving him a reason to be able to approach you and then show you his real personality? Like what is it that you're allowing him to do that can be somewhat receptive? Because it can't just be one-sided. It's like if I'm talking and then you want to say something to me and I just keep talking, it'll be kind of hard for you to hear me, right? Because underneath everything that I was saying or that I could be saying, you barely heard me because you are, you know, like, and it's vice versa with the man as well, because we're not going to exempt anybody from this situation, you know? So, like I said, I wasn't trying to make this any longer than what it is. Yes, gotta go. I love you all so much. I really do. I hope that you understand sometimes you gotta love people from a distance, right? I hope you guys learn that. And if it's not a distance where you feel some type of way, make your love known. Because some people they don't know. And if they don't know, how can they know if they're not being told to know? All right. Love you all so much. If somebody told you they don't love you today, you know what you gotta tell them? Tell them I said I love them. Tell them I blew a kiss at them like 10 times, but then like mentally though. All right. Tell them I love them from the bottom of my heart, so much to a point where like, yeah, I can see that right here too. So much to a point where like, um, like you're not running away from my hugs. Like I love you all. So I'm gonna blow you guys a kiss. Much love, much of an edifying to you all. Um, what else? Much more favor. And if you would like to see the podcast, comment section. If you got any questions, if you don't, it's fine. Some of you people out here are jacked up, got more arms than me. You know what I mean? But hey, kudos to you. You feel me? Much love unto you all. And yeah, yeah. Wagwan. Another one. All right. Love, love.